meeting of the Planning Commission to order at 7:00 p.m. For the audience here today, the city of Glendora utilizes a hybrid meeting format to allow for participation both in person and virtually. In consideration of others and the business being conducted tonight, please silence your phones and any electronic devices and refrain from speaking unless recognized. This is a public meeting for the community of Glendora. We appreciate and respect your participation here tonight. Madam Clerk, will you please conduct roll call?
Thank you. Yes, at this time, I'll conduct an oral roll call and request that every commissioner respond with a present when their name is called. Commissioner Basara.
Present.
Commissioner Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Faber.
Present.
Vice Chair Norwood
Present.
and Chair Koss.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, Vice Chair Norwood will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, does anyone wish to reorder or add to tonight's agenda? Okay. All right, then I'm now going to open the public comment period. I now invite members of the public to address the Planning Commission. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking once, both on and off agenda items. All questions should be directed through the presiding officer. This is your time to speak uninterrupted. If you're in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording administrator before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, please advance to the podium, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. If you're participating via Zoom, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of the public comment period. Once recognized, you will receive a request to unmute, state your name and the subject matter you wish to discuss. Do we have any public comment cards?
At this point, we've received no public comment cards and there have been no requests received via email. So I will call for anybody participating via Zoom to raise their hand using the Zoom icon if they would like to speak. I'm seeing none.
Okay, then at this time, I'm going to close public comment and I'm going to invite each commission member to provide a statement or report if they have one. Commissioner Basara?
None at this time.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Nothing, thank you.
Commissioner Faber?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Vice Chair Norwood?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I also have nothing at this time. At this time, I'm going to invite Community Development Director Jeff Kegel to report and invite Assistant City Attorney Danny Aylshire to report.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to introduce the new Assistant City Attorney, Danny Aylshire, and I'll let him tell you a little bit about himself as he has his first commission meeting with us tonight.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Danny Aylshire, I've been at the firm for a little over 4 years. I was previously working primarily on the private side, representing developers and owners, buyers, sellers, operators of real estate, and in mostly doing, land use, entitlement work, CEQA work, and all other types of real estate transactions at other firms before I joined Aylshire and Winder. And so I was working on the private side representing developers for about 8.5 years. And now I'm on the city side doing, they finally convinced me to come over, and I head sort of the firm's real estate practice group area. And I'm looking forward to working with you all, and anything I can do to support your efforts here. I'm happy to help out.
Thank you very much. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to read our item 2 into record, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Glendora, California, approving a development plan review for the construction of a major facade improvement on certain property located at 233 South Glendora Avenue, project number PLN 220051, owner applicant John Krowitz. At this time, I declare the public hearing open, and I invite Planning Technician Aaron Sines to present the staff report.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Cos and members of the commission. Before you tonight is the request for approval of the development plan review to allow the construction of the major facade improvement at the property at 233 South Glendora. And the property is located on South Glendora Avenue between East Carroll Avenue and East Ada Avenue. The subject property is a narrow rectangular lot totaling approximately 9,600 square feet in size. And the building area is approximately 3,173 square feet. And it consists of an existing commercial building. The site is zoned CCA PT5, which is part of the Glendora Downtown Village. And its surrounding properties are other offices, commercial buildings, and some single family across the street on the east side of Glendora Avenue. As you can see here, this is a photo showing the building's prior state. It has a mansard roof that was in poor condition. And in the next photo, you'll see some fencing that was placed around it per direction of the project's architect due to safety and welfare concerns. As of last week, this photo is no longer up to date as the mansard roof has been removed to get rid of that unsafe element that was supported by some tubular fencing. And here are the renderings that show the new proposed facade construction. It features a new canopy and awning that is constructed out of aluminum and also rusted steel. It features an updated store frontage, windows, and new entrances. It also updates the landscaping area that is located outside of the the office. They'll be implementing xeriscape landscaping, which is the lowest water use planting materials. It also includes some redwood slats that accentuate the front entrance. The architectural style of this new facade is a contemporary take on the Main Street shop frontage, which you can see in cities such as Claremont and downtown Old Town Pasadena. And the colors and materials board is provided later on. Here is another rendering of similar to the photo that you saw previously from the existing conditions. And this is the elevation existing in more detail. So the signage on the roof of the building is also removed, and you can see the removal of the mansard and also a gate that was present there before. This is the the proposed elevation. Again, just in more detail, showing the new shop frontage and also the materials that will be used. This is the color and materials board. You can see the rusted steel for the canopy awning and the black anodized aluminum for the surround, and also the redwood slats for the streetscape frontage. So a notice of hearing was published in the San Gabriel Valley Examiner and mailed to all property owners within 500 feet of the subject property on January 26, 2023. And at this time, planning has not received any phone calls from residents or other members of the community. And finally, staff recommends the approval of this project as it will bring a major visual improvement that is consistent with the applicable development standards of the Glendora Village CCAP T5 zone and the city's general plan. The building's new exterior design appearance will also be complementary to the surrounding buildings and designs of that area. There's a Menard office building that shares very similar architectural features to that as well on the opposite side of the street. So as such, staff recommends that the commission adopt the prepared draft resolution approving the proposed project based on the required findings in the municipal code and subject to conditions of approval. And the applicant and owner of the building is present with me here, and we're available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I invite the applicant, John Krowitz, to address the commission. You will have 10 minutes.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to be here today. And I just want to say first, thanks to Aaron. He's been a wonderful resource along with the rest of the planning group to get this project underway. We're excited to renovate the space and hopefully get our business moved into Glendora by the summertime if we possibly can. I'm excited about the design and Aaron has been a great resource as well for feedback. Our architect is a local architect, Troy Day. Not sure if you guys have worked with him on another project, but he's done, I think, a great job. He worked with me on one other project and he's just a wonderful architect in my experience. And we're looking forward to getting it hopefully finished up soon and moving forward. So happy to answer any questions or your resources I can.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
At this time, I invite members of the public to give testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking only on this agenda item. If you're in attendance, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the recording administrator before the close of public comment period. If you're participating via Zoom, select the raise hand icon in Zoom before the close of public comment. Do we have any speakers?
We've received no cards and no emails from the public. At this point, we'll call for last call for public comments from Zoom participants. If there's anybody wishing to provide testimony, please raise your hand in Zoom and we will unmute you. Seeing none.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I would like to move to discussion and deliberations from the commissioners. So Commissioner Basara, any comments or questions?
I think it's a good improvement to the area. And I mean, I visit the post office every day and look at that building and go, why don't they fix it? So yes, I think it's a great improvement to that area.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Davis.
A couple of quick ones. I guess of staff, why is this before us? What is it not meeting or what is it? Is it just a requirement or is it out of compliance somehow that needs our approval for? Is it just a,
Because it's in the village.
because it's in the village
Facade renovation.
and that comes before the commission? Okay. I noticed the redwood slats on the front and being a man who's keen to what wood does in the sun and in the weather. Eventually they'll turn gray. Redwood does decay. It does get termites despite everybody says that it doesn't. Is there a plan for upkeep of that on an annual basis or quarterly basis? Or I know redwood requires a little bit less.
Of course, yes.
So I think that the right application of the right material to make sure that it would last for a long period of time would be important. And I think the upkeep of that would be critical as well, right? So I think that annually, I'm open to whatever the suggestion would be from the city, but I think that'd be critical and important as well, that we would then refinish or use some type of a product that would hold up to sort of the elements. Absolutely. So that'd be in my interest as well. I think we haven't fully explored the different actual product we would use there. So redwood slats would be great, but if we could use some sort of composite that would look like
Okay.
redwood, that would be ideal. I mean, I think economically, make sure we review that, but I'm sure there's something out there that would hold up to, the elements. So,
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
where I was going with the redwood. It's great stuff, but
yeah,
it's got its limitations in the sun.
Yeah.
UV kills everything.
absolutely.
The back building, I didn't see any pictures of the back building.
There's
is-
no rear, there was a rear pad back there from many, many years ago that was removed. We could pull an aerial.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, the aerial.
They're doing a couple minor things, but we didn't include them in the presentation because your purview is just over the facade.
I see.
Okay, all right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Faber.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a nice improvement. I would also agree with Mark in his statement too. You know, in Claremont, you go by where I work, we put Western red cedar at the museum. It's held up. It's been there like 3 years untouched, but it will go bad. But if you go by the TCCS or the CUC building where they put their redwood on, it's great. So I think just keep it in mind. And
One thing that Aaron mentioned is the neighbor across the street, the other building has a similar face fascia on it. And I think that we could probably look into what material that is and maybe copy that. It looks like it's actually in good shape. And I think it's been there for several years.
perfect.
So-
Yeah, I think it'll be great. And it sounds like you have the attention to detail to keep it up. So
Hopefully, yeah.
thank you.
Hey, Vice Chair Norwood.
I think it's a great addition. Just out of curiosity, was the facade, were the tiles coming off or was it structurally pulling on the building? I'm just out of curiosity of what the structural damage was. I know it's
I
dated.
think it's
but-
twofold. The tile was, I think, universally not, I think, well loved, let's just say. But yeah, there was a safety concerns architect as we looked at it. Just it was sagging in the front. And I
Okay,
think that as we kind of reviewed, there wasn't actually, I think, a permit for adding that tile. It's probably from 30, 40 years ago. So they put the tile on, it sagged, they put some really thin material there to kind of keep it up. And then that sagged into that material. It wasn't safe. And I think also just from an aesthetic perspective, it needed an upgrade. So for both reasons, we were.
yeah, I was just curious, but it was.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great improvement. Looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited about it.
And I agree. I go past the building all the time going to the post office. And when we got the packet, I went past it again and I thought, oh, thank God somebody's doing something about this. So I was not a fan of the old facade, so I'm glad that it's gone. I like the fact that you're going to have some, xeriscape and some gardening. I'm all about the plants. And so I like, as much greenery and things as possible, but I think it's great, but I'm curious, I didn't see in the paperwork, what is the business that what business is it?
It's a financial planning practice.
Okay.
Currently, we're in downtown San Dimas. We have a lot of roots in Glendora, serve a lot of customers in Glendora. And so just moving our firm from San Dimas to Glendora.
Great. Well,
Welcome.
welcome. Okay. At this time, I am closing public hearing and I'm requesting a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Becerra.
Sarah.
Thank you. And then a second by Commissioner Davis. I'll conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Becerra,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Faber,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Norwood,
Yes.
and Chair Cost.
Yes.
Thank you, and that will
Welcome to Glendora.
carried.
Okay. So next item is a consideration of a resolution to approve a tentative parcel map number 83617 to subdivide an existing lot located at 445 North Oak Drive and 960 West Leodora Avenue, Glendora, California, into two separate individual lots. Project number PLN 210027, applicant Dmitry Kazakov, property owner John B. Cassian. I now declare the public hearing on this open. I invite City Planner Mark Carnahan to present the staff report.
Good evening, Chair and members of the commission. Mark Carnahan. I'll be presenting this for Natalie Espinoza. Tonight for your consideration is the application requesting a subdivision of land. Note that the planning commission is an advisory body on this matter and will make a recommendation to the city council. A hearing before the city council will be conducted at a future date. The existing project site is 1.1 acres of land located on the southwest corner of North Oak Drive and West Leodora Avenue. The subject property has a general plan land use designation of low density residential and a zoning designation of E7 20,000 single family estates. The site is surrounded by existing single family residential to the north, south, east, and west, and all of similar zoning. The site itself consists of two residential houses, which are addressed as 445 North Oak Drive and 960 West Leodora Avenue. The The existing house, located at 445 North Oak Drive, was built in 1913 and is located on the southern portion of the site. The house has had several alterations and additions over the years. Here's some photos showing the view of it from the street. The house is most visible from the one on the right-hand side there. You can kind of see it, low profile white house. Here is 960 Leodore Avenue. It's located on the north side of the site. And according to the historical assessment for the property that was presented to the city, it was built in 1905. Its garage was built in 1949, and it's the guest house in 1971. Additionally, an interesting fact is that it was discovered that all three of these structures were relocated from their to their current location in 1987 from their former location, which was at 1107 West Foothill Boulevard, which is now the Autumn Oaks townhome development. Here's some photos showing that those home, the corner house view is there on the big photo. The lower left one is from Oak Drive, and the upper right one is from Leodora. So the application request is for a tentative parcel map. There's a typo there. Sorry, it's a tentative parcel map. It's numbered 83617, and it would subdivide the existing single lot into two separate individual lots. With the two existing single-family homes that were mentioned, each being on their own separate parcel. This is kind of hard to read, but this is kind of an existing site plan that notes all the structures on the site, the various site improvements, and its trees. This visual is the actual subdivision parcel map. This is a zoomed in portion of the actual submitted map. The new property line that would be created is noted here in the red, and it basically kind of bisects the line right down the middle. And then the area that's highlighted yellow is the area that would be dedicated to the city as part of the right-of-way street improvements as part of the map submittal. Again, each house would be on their own respective lots. And each lot would meet or exceed the zoning district's minimum lot requirements of 100 feet by 100 feet, 100 feet depth and 100 feet wide, and 20,000 square feet. Again, meet or exceed all those standards. And as well as be in substantial compliance with all of the applicable development standards, such as floor area ratio and setbacks. For disclosure, as mentioned in the report, and earlier tonight, the house at 445 Oak Drive was built at its current location. This house has an existing street setback of about 22 feet, 7 inches from the street. Pursuant to the municipal code, the required setback for the zone is 25 feet as measured from the property line. While the observed setback is less than what's required, it is acceptable for a map subdivision to comply, mainly for the facts that one is it's an existing condition. It's been that way since 1913. And the map and a subdivision map only need to be in harmony and agreement with the city's general plan, and which this proposal is definitely so. Another factor to factor in there is the existing neighboring lot to the immediate south has a setback that's actually even closer. So it would not be foreign. It's not something they're actually building. It's already there, as well as the neighbors too. Street improvements, as I noted, this parcel map includes no construction on the private property portions at this time. However, as with any subdivision of land, applicants are required to make any necessary dedications or street right-of-way improvements that are requested by the city. And in this case, the roadway portion, especially on Oak Drive, is very not pushed to any kind of required standards. It has never had any dedication, so the dedication to widen the road is required. So it'd be basically a removal of the existing fence located within the right of way and relocating it to the property lines, removing the landscaping within the right of way and repaving the street portion per the city's requirements. And interestingly, there's a dirt median landscaping island that is in the middle of the road that originally was probably probably a large oak tree that I think was there just up until a few years ago, but probably hence the name Oak Drive, I'm guessing. It has since gone for a few years ago and it's no longer there. This is the opportune time for the city to ask the developer to formalize that as a street and remove that area. It is a safety hazard, and to make that a formal street portion and at their expenses being part of the development. Let's see, noticing on December 21st, the notice of the public hearing was published in the San Gabriel Valley Examiner. On the 22nd of December, all property owners within 500 feet of the property were mailed a notice. On January 3rd, the Planning Commission continued this item, date specific, to tonight, so that staff and the applicant could resolve a minor issue that was discovered and needed to be addressed prior to this commission's review, which it has since been fixed. Note again that the Planning Commission is an advisory body on this tonight and will only be making a recommendation to the City Council. A hearing before the council, again, it will be conducted at a later date, probably in March, probably March 14th if things go to plan. But it's still to be determined. And notice for that meeting will also be provided and sent out. In closing, tonight we're conducting the public hearing, accepting evidence and testimony. The commission is again requested to make a recommendation to City Council. This map has been reviewed by the LA County Fire Department, and all of their conditions of approval are incorporated within the draft resolution. Staff supports the application as it is believed that all the required findings can be met and is recommending City Council's adoption of so. And requesting the project's CEQA exemption and approval on the draft resolution that was prepared, allowing the two lot subdivision with a 10 parcel map. Finally, the applicant, I believe, is going to be on Zoom. At least what I'm told. Hopefully, they're on there available, and they can answer any questions they might have.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we invite the applicant Dmitry Kazakov to address the commission. You will have 10 minutes.
Dimitri, can you hear
Yeah.
us? Perfect. Your 10 minutes has started.
May I present to the council?
This is the planning commission, and yes, they're all listening.
Okay, yes, hi. My name is Jeff Tsaluk. Applicant Dmitry Kazakov having hard time to connect via Zoom or to the meeting. I am a land surveyor and civil engineer on the project who prepare tentative maps, so I am ready to answer any question if such. Project is simple 2-lot subdivision, and if any question, I'll try to answer.
Okay, thank you. Are there any members of the public? At this time, I invite you to give testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, speaking only on this agenda item. I see no speakers in attendance, but are there any participating on Zoom who would like to offer public comment?
If there's anybody who'd like to participate, please raise your right hand in Zoom and we will call on you. At this point, we've received no requests to speak or give testimony.
Okay. Then at this time, I invite discussion and deliberation from the commissioners. Commissioner Basara?
I think it's a pretty straightforward subdivision. There's really not much to it, right? But there's no project that's associated with it. That's my only problem. And that happened last week or last month too, where there was no project associated with the subdivision, but I don't know that they actually have to do that. So I think it's okay. It just, they want to subdivide a piece of property and it will meet all of the regular standards. So I think it's fine. I think it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Davis?
This takes me back to the question that I had at the last meeting. In terms of an SB 9, I know this is an SB 9. This is just a straight property split.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the development was already there, but
The
yeah.
development is already there. So going forward, what can be put on each lot? Can they take all the buildings off of each lot? Which brings me to the, there's a building to the west of the house on the north. Is that a barn or is that a garage or a unit or? I've never quite understood what that was. It's,
One of them is a big garage with like a guest house kind of thing on it. Like a room. There's no kitchen, but yeah.
okay. All right, so leaving that for a second. So can they take those lots and split them again under SB 9? Effectively making 4 lots there down the road?
But yeah, we are in a sense creating just, it's already one lot. We're creating 2 regular lots as a B. And then they're doing the improvements to make that a standard subdivision. But
There's
these
nothing
lots would be the same case as any single family lot that could apply for SB 9 and whatever allowances though they allow.
And that's what I'm trying to understand. So they're just doing a traditional lot split.
Yeah.
And then down the road, they can invoke SB 9 and further split them again.
Correct, as any other residential lot could as well, yes.
So we could end up with 8 units potentially.
Sure.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out there so that way everybody has the numbers as to what could happen. It's probably smart of them to do it this way. But I get it. Can they? I don't need to ask that right now. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Faber.
Yeah, I think it does seem pretty simple and it seems like it's meeting the requirements within that neighborhood for 20,000 square foot lots, right? So, I guess the only minor question I had is when the big oak tree came out, did the city plant the new oak trees there or who planted that?
I don't know who planted them. I'm assuming the city did, I'm guessing, and then part of the application was they would have to plant new, you work with the city arbor forester. And then we'll get new street trees planted.
Potentially could move those
Yeah.
trees into the right.
Oh, within the right of way that they're dedicating, basically,
Yeah, maybe moving them to the right of way would be
Yeah.
good.
which is hence part of the reason why we can get extra land out of it.
Yep.
Put it there.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Chair Norwood.
Yeah, I agree with the fellow commissioners. It's a straight lot split. It meets the zoning, the E7 zoning for the 20,000 square feet general plan. The city's actually getting some street improvements out of it, safer street, better curbsides. So what they do later down the road, within the zoning and laws of the state, that's their prerogative. And they can go through that process at that time. But yeah, I think this is a straightforward lot split and yeah, I think it's actually better for the city.
Chair Cost, just as a FYI, the owner of the property has requested to speak via Zoom if you will allow it.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yes.
We have to reopen the public hearing.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I will go ahead and reopen public hearings so that the owner of the property will be able to speak. So go ahead. You have 10 minutes, correct?
Hello, can you hear me? Just make sure I'm loud enough here. Oops. Can you guys hear me on that side?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay, I just want to, I apologize. I'm traveling for work right now and we are at a hotel, so trying to get this. To kind of touch on what a couple of things that were said. It is fairly just a straightforward lot split. I'm speaking for my dad. He is in West Virginia right now. And he is the one that was formally doing the lot split. I'm his son also, John Cashin, so if that gets confusing, I apologize. But the plan has been to do a simple lot split, me in one house, my stepbrother in the other. And then we are going to do our improvements on the property. Both houses are many years old, and since that first house was moved, it was moved actually in 1990, so it is due for some improvements. And we wanted to get the lot split done so that we could move forward with some of those. The building, one of the council members asked about the building to the west. That is a 4-car garage with a small under 800 square foot attached apartment. The apartment is bare, it needs to be fixed up, and that's one of the improvements that we are planning to do. There is no plan in the near future, or I don't even think it's possible actually, based with the zoning requirements, to do a lot split further than what is currently, what we are currently trying to do. But needing 100 by 100 square feet, or I think this is probably the max allowable. So we plan to keep it the sizes that they are now, for as long as we own the houses. So that is kind of the position that we are in on that. If there's other questions about the property specifically, I can try to answer those, but that's the kind of the basis of what the lot split has been going on for now.
Okay, thank you. So now do I close public hearing again?
Go ahead and finish your deliberations. And
Oh, okay. So you were done, Commissioner, Vice Chair Norwood, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I really feel the same way. It's a pretty straightforward lot split. You know, I am excited about the improvements in the road, and I know we're gonna be moving the tree. Are we moving the trees or are we replacing the trees?
I think they're too small to move. I think they'll try to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're replacing them.
I'm not an arborist, so
Okay.
that'll be determined by them.
You
but
know, I always
I
hate,
doubt it.
you know, I always hate when we take a mature tree and replace it with
These
some
are,
little
these are really
sapling.
small things.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So yeah, that would be my, you know, if you can add a tree that's not a little sapling, that's always my preference, because, you know, a little sapling takes 20 years to be a good tree. But other than that, I think it's a very straightforward project. Definitely meets all the requirements. So, so I will go ahead and close public hearing now. And I will ask for a motion.
I will make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Project as presented.
And I'll second.
So I have a motion by Vice Chair Norwood and a second by Chair Koss. I'll request each of you to vote and then do a roll call vote. So we'll start with Commissioner Basara
Yes.
and Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Faber,
Yes.
Vice Chair Norwood,
Yes.
and Chair Koss.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
thank you. At this time, I would like to, okay, I don't need to read that whole thing again, do I? Okay.
No,
good.
just go ahead and
Okay.
call for final comment.
Okay, I was like, do I have to read that? Okay, at this time, I am inviting commissioners or staff to make any closing comments they may have. Commissioner Basara?
No, I don't have any.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Happy President's Day.
Coming up. Commissioner Faber?
None at this time.
Thank you. Vice Chair Norwood?
I have none at this time. Thank you.
Okay, and I have none at this time either. So at this time, does staff have any closing comments? No? No? Okay, well then at this time, I am adjourning the meeting at 7:38 PM.